From the ancient allure of Egyptian queens to the bold statements of Hollywood starlets, lipsticks have stood the test of time as more than just a cosmetic, but as a symbol of empowerment, expression, and cultural shifts. Buckle up as we navigate through centuries of colors, trends, and beauty revolutions. This is not just a story of lipsticks. It's a tale of transformation, resilience, and the artistry of self-expression. So grab your favorite lipstick shades, because this is the complete history of lipsticks like you've never seen before. And welcome back, beauty enthusiasts, to my channel, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of cosmetics as we embark on a journey through the ages, a journey that traces the evolution of one iconic beauty essential, lipstick.
And now, a message from our sponsor.
Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. So I'm all for getting help and speaking to someone, and I love the idea of doing it through BetterHelp because it seems way more convenient than having to go speak to a counselor or a psychologist. So I love the idea of this, and I think it's really important to work on your mental health because it's just as important as going to the doctor, in my opinion. And BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. Starting therapy can be definitely hard, and the right therapist for you may not be in your area, and some people find the face-to-face interaction of therapy uncomfortable. I mean, I am kind of like that. I prefer to do it over the internet versus having to actually go somewhere, especially if you're busy. And with BetterHelp, you can have your therapy session as a phone call, a video chat, or even via messaging if you prefer that. Whatever is the most comfortable version of therapy for you. BetterHelp can match you to one of over 30,000 therapists in their network, which gives you access to a wider range of expertise that may be available in your area. And to get started, all you do is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you'll get matched with your therapist in most cases within 48 hours or less. You'll be able to schedule therapy sessions at a time that's convenient for you. If the therapist you're first matched with doesn't feel like the right fit, which can be common when starting therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. And I do agree with that. In the past, I've gone to people and I just feel like I don't necessarily feel comfortable around them, or we don't mesh well. So I like the idea of being able to switch. And people spend hours in the gym every week. So why not give your mind the same kind of attention? Over 4 million people have used BetterHelp to start living a healthier, happier life. And make sure to check the link in my description box and pin comment. And if you think you might benefit from therapy, consider BetterHelp, and make sure to click my link below in the description box and pin comment. And by clicking this link, you help support this channel, and it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. All right, let's jump right back into the main video now. The origins of lipstick extend back for centuries. While lipstick itself is not a recent invention, the formulations have undergone significant changes over time. These transformations have enabled us to customize our appearance based on individual skin tones and preferences. Numerous brands have undergone extensive processing stages to achieve the perfect blend of shades and pigmentation. In contrast to historical lipsticks, contemporary versions incorporate a variety of fruits, flavors, essential oils, and other ingredients to not only add color but also to hydrate and nourish the lips, creating a more pout-ready look. The market now offers a diverse array of lipstick shades, ranging from bold red pigments to more neutral tones. Additionally, modern lipsticks are available in both matte and glossy finishes, providing options to either maintain a radiant appearance or seamlessly blend with one's skin tone. In ancient societies, the use of cosmetics served as a symbol of status, and both genders participated in the application of makeup. Beyond its aesthetic purposes, makeup also held medicinal significance. The earliest known users of lipstick can be tracked back to the people of the Sumerian civilization. Lip stains were derived from naturally available materials such as fruits, henna, clay rust, and even insects. The women of Mesopotamia took a more elaborate approach, incorporating ground precious jewels to impact color and shimmering effect to their lips. The Egyptians can be considered among the earliest enthusiasts of lipstick. Both hues like purple and black were prevalent in ancient Egypt, with the colors sourced from intriguing substances such as carmine dye obtained from crushed insects. Historical accounts propose that Cleopatra, an Egyptian princess, may have utilized lipstick derived from carmine beetles and ants. Interestingly enough, carmine dye continues to be used in contemporary lipsticks, lip stains, and various products. However, it's noteworthy that ancient Egyptians also incorporated harmful elements like lead and a mixture of bromine, mannite, and iodine in their lip products, which could lead to severe health issues or even death. According to legend, Cleopatra, the renowned queen of Egypt, was celebrated for her remarkable beauty, and a distinctive aspect of her beauty routine was the application of vibrant red lipstick. However, this lipstick wasn't solely for cosmetic purposes. It's believed that Cleopatra used it as a means to shield her lips from the harsh conditions of the desert climate. The lipstick was crafted from crushed carmine beetles blended with a base of beeswax and oils, serving both to enhance the color of her lips and provide a protective barrier. Hence, Cleopatra wasn't just a style icon, she also demonstrated a keen understanding of skincare practices. As Christianity and puritanical ideals gained prominence, the church censored the application of lipsticks and any form of makeup. Red lips became linked to Satan worship, leading to suspicions of sorcery and witchcraft against women who adorned lipsticks. Except for individuals in certain professions like call girls, respectable women refrained from showcasing colored lips. However, lip balm remained a popular and acceptable cosmetic. As a result, women infused color into salves or employed methods such as pinching, biting, or rubbing lips with various materials to achieve a redder appearance. The resurgence of lipstick occurred during the reign of Queen Elizabeth in England. She promoted the fashion of pale white skin paired with red lips. Although its availability was limited to noble women and individuals in the performing arts, such as actors and actresses on the stage. For approximately 3 centuries following that period, lipstick continued to be primarily accessible to actors and street workers. There is a persistent myth that Queen Elizabeth I of England used a lethal red lipstick that contributed to her death. However, it's essential to clarify that this claim lacks historical evidence and is even more likely a fabrication. And Queen Elizabeth I, who reigned from 1558 to 1603, was known for her distinctive appearance, including her pale complexion and vibrant red hair. While she did use makeup, the formulations of cosmetics in the Elizabethan era were significantly different from modern products today. Makeup often contained lead-based substances, and Queen Elizabeth's use of a lead-based white face paint called Venetian ceruse is documented. However, there's no credible evidence to suggest that she used a toxic red lipstick, but I know the white face stuff she used was very toxic, and the rumor of Queen Elizabeth's deadly lipstick likely stems from a misconception that her makeup containing lead-based ingredients might have contributed to her death. I mean, I wouldn't put it past it that there was lead in her lipstick, to be honest. And Queen Elizabeth I passed away in 1603 at the age of 69, and the cause of her death was officially attributed to natural causes, possibly pneumonia. Guerlain, a French perfume brand, emerged as a pioneering commercial lipstick manufacturer. Their lipstick formulation included ingredients like deer tallow, beeswax, and castor oil, encased in silk paper packaging. Guerlain also introduced a liquid lipstick called Liquid Bloom of Rose. In the 1800s, the prevailing sentiment in Western society deemed makeup inappropriate for women, with lipstick specifically considered a sign of questionable moral character. Despite societal norms, some women ingeniously found ways to wear their preferred lip colors. A popular method involved tinting the lips with red dye from insects and wax or oil, followed by a clear balm or pomade application. And this subtle technique produced a subtle yet natural-looking hint of color, enabling women to express their personal style discreetly. Maurice Levy, a French businessman and inventor, is credited with the invention of lipstick holders in a round container. This innovation marked a significant advancement in the way lipsticks were packaged and presented. Before the advent of lipstick holders in cylindrical containers, lipsticks were often sold in simple, straightforward packaging, lacking the elegance and sophistication we associate with modern products. And Maurice's invention brought about a more refined and practical solution for storing and applying lipstick. And this new shape of container not only served as a protective casing for the lipstick, preventing it from getting damaged or melting, but it also added a touch of glamour to the overall presentation. The design allowed for easy application as users would twist the container to reveal more of the lipsticks for use and retract it for storage. In the realm of beauty and cosmetics, Maurice's innovation in lipstick packaging remains an integral part of the industry's history, showcasing how thoughtful design and functionality can enhance the user experience and contribute to the overall success of a product. American women in the 1920s experienced a transformative decade that marked a departure from traditional gender roles and ushered in a new era of social change and cultural shifts. In the 1920s, the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution was ratified in 1920, granting women the right to vote. This milestone achievement, after decades of activism and struggle, empowered women to participate more actively in civic life. And also in the 1920s, there was the introduction of the iconic image of the flapper, a young independent woman characterized by her bobbed hair, short skirts, and a more carefree attitude. And the flapper style represented a rejection of Victorian norms, reflecting the desire for liberation and freedom. Also in the 1920s, the rise of consumerism held a significant impact on women's lives. Mass production and advertising led to an increase in the availability of consumer goods, including fashionable clothing, cosmetics, lipsticks, and household products. And there was also the emergence of popular culture, radio, and cinema, which played a crucial role in shaping women's perceptions and aspirations. Hollywood stars like Clara Bow and Louise Brooks became influential figures impacting fashion and society in the 1920s. By 1920, lipstick had become a staple in the daily routines of many women. In 1923, James Bruce Mason Jr. introduced the swivel-up lipstick tube, a development that shaped modern lipstick as we recognize it today. The fashion influencers during this time were stars of the silent films, and people emulated their dark lip looks, reigniting the popularity of lipstick. Shades like plums and dark reds and cherry red and browns were highly sought after during this period. Lipstick was more affordable and readily available with mass production. Magazines played a significant role in advertising of lipsticks, using women to embrace stylish colors. Helena Rubinstein created the Cupid's Bow lipstick applicator, ensuring it could deliver the desired shape for the lips. Women adopted various methods, including stencils, to achieve the coveted Cupid's Bow lip shape. Coinciding with the 1920s, the initial wave of feminism emerged, and women advocated for increased rights, including the right to vote. Interestingly enough, because of this, lipsticks during this period were regarded as a symbol of feminism. Also in the 1920s, French chemist Paul Baudecroux created the lipstick rouge, claiming it to be kiss-proof. However, it was swiftly withdrawn from the market as women encountered difficulties in removing it. Meanwhile, companies such as Chanel, Guerlain, Elizabeth Arden, and Estee Lauder began entering the lipstick industry. And that would be terrifying, to have lipstick that you actually couldn't remove. I feel like I remember seeing ads for that kiss-proof lipstick in the 1920s. And the 1930s were definitely different than the 20s because of the Great Depression, which had a profound impact on society and the lives of American women. Because of the changing economy in the 1930s, hemlines dropped and clothing became more practical and less extravagant compared to the 1920s. And the idea of make, do, and mend became popular, encouraging people to repair and repurpose clothing rather than buying new items. And in the 1930s, similar to the 1920s, Hollywood and radio was shaping the societal ideals. Actresses like Bette Davis and Katharine Hepburn portrayed strong and independent female characters on screen. And the fascination with lipstick persisted even during the Depression era. According to a survey, 50% of teenage girls engaged in conflicts with their parents over lipstick. Transitioning from the jazz baby era of the 1920s, the 1930s embraced elegant and matte finishes. Max Factor introduced and successfully sold lip glosses, which became immensely popular among the general public, as glossy lipstick had previously been reserved for Hollywood actresses. And despite the challenges of the Great Depression, lipstick remained an affordable luxury for women during this period. Deep plum and burgundy emerged as some of the preferred shades of this time. And now diving into the 1940s. And the 1940s was a transformative decade for American women, characterized by the impact of World War II and how it changed society. And men were serving in the military during the war, and a lot of women entered the workforce to fill these essential roles normally filled by men. And the wartime influenced fashion, with practical and utilitarian clothing becoming more common due to rationing of materials. And the use of makeup continued to be popular during the 40s, and red lipstick remained a symbol of patriotism and morale boosting during the war. And there was a popular Victory Red shade by Elizabeth Arden. Resources were scarce during the war, including materials for lipstick production, and consequently metal tubes were temporarily substituted with plastic tubes and paper cases for lipsticks during the war. The scarcity of materials led to a creative and resourceful makeup solutions during this era. Women were actively encouraged to wear the boldest red lip colors to uplift morale during the somber wartime period. Now diving into the 1950s. The 1950s were definitely the time of glamour and beauty. That's kind of where it all started, in my opinion, in the United States. And there was that idealized suburban housewife, which became popular, that kind of iconic picture of the American homemaker with her harmonious home life. There's also the baby boom and family life, the post-war baby boom of the 1950s, and the nuclear family, consisting of the breadwinning father and the homemaking mother with the perfect family and children. And the 1950s saw the rise of consumer culture with an increasing emphasis on materialism and consumer goods. And a lot of women were targeted in advertisement for consumer products. And in the 1950s reflected conservative values, with women wearing dresses, skirts, and more feminine styles. And the hourglass silhouette, characterized by a nipped-in waist and full skirt, which became popular by Christian Dior in 1947, which was the new look. And the beauty standards were definitely more a polished, put-together appearance with red lipstick, which was still a common part of everyday routines, but also other colors like pinks came out, and a lot of women like to match their lipstick with their nails. And television became super popular with lots of different TV shows, and during this period, Hollywood glamour icons like Grace Kelly, Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn, and Elizabeth Taylor became influential in shaping lipstick trends globally. And women aspired to emulate the looks of their favorite actresses, leading to a surge in the popularity of lipstick in the 50s. The trend of bold red lips, notably popularized by Marilyn Monroe and Elizabeth Taylor, were enthusiastically embraced by women in the 1950s. Estee Lauder's Envious emerged as one of the sought-after lipstick shades in the 50s. A survey conducted in the 50s reported that 60% of teenage girls wore lipstick. In 1952, Queen Elizabeth II developed her personalized shade during her coronation. The Queen collaborated with her preferred lipstick brand Clarins to create a custom color named the Balmoral, which precisely matched the hue of her coronation robe. In the same period, Hazel Bishop achieved success with a kiss-proof lipstick. Following this, Revlon introduced their line of smudge-proof, long-lasting lipsticks, initiating a competitive battle among lipstick brands. The 1960s and 70s were decades of profound social change in the United States, and American women played pivotal roles in various movements and shifts. There was the civil rights movement in the 1960s, which affected particularly women of color, which were actively involved in this movement for racial equality and justice. There was also the second wave of feminism, where women wanted to address issues like workplace discrimination, reproductive rights, and gender roles. Betty Friedan's The Feminine Mystique, which came out in 1963, challenged the notion of women finding fulfillment solely in domestic roles. There was also the introduction of the birth control pill in the early 60s, which provided women with greater control over their reproductive choices, contributing to changes in family planning. And the counterculture movement definitely affected beauty and fashion during this time. A lot of women wore more casual, unconventional styles, rejecting the rigid norms of the 50s. And the 70s were a pivotal decade with the passing of Roe versus Wade in 1973, the landmark Supreme Court decision legalizing abortion, marking a significant victory for reproductive rights. It's interesting that this was reversed. And there's also Miss Magazine, and this came out in 1972, and Gloria Steinem and others founded Miss Magazine in 1972, providing a platform for feminist perspectives and discussions on women's issues. And the 1960s and 1970s were definitely some of my favorite decades for fashion. I'm getting really into the 70s now. And it just seemed like such a pivotal moment in American history and society. I love the aesthetic of those two decades. Let me know which one's your favorite, the 50s, 60s, or 70s. And lipstick drew inspiration from art and popular culture with a variety of shades constantly cycling in and out of fashion. And it catered to everyone's preferences. In 1973, Bonnie Bell introduced Lip Smackers, a line of flavored lipsticks that quickly gained popularity among the younger crowd. And I had these in the 90s. Iconic shades of the era included Erin Rosebomb lipstick in Pretty and Corals and Maybelline's Orange Danger. And there's definitely that kind of darker burgundy tone, which was popular in the 70s. And now moving into the 1980s, which was such a different decade than the 70s. The 1980s saw the emergence of the superwoman phenomenon, where women were expected to excel in both their professional and personal lives, often balancing demanding careers with family responsibilities. I feel like that's still nowadays too. I mean, obviously it's great that we can do it all, but there's still intense expectation. And the fashion and beauty trends of the 80s were definitely bold, with extravagant styles. Power suits became popular in the workplace, and beauty standards emphasized fitness and a more athletic physique. During the 1980s, lipsticks were that shimmery and glossy look. The era also witnessed the emergence of power dressing and bold red lips, making a strong statement once more. Coordinating lip colors with outfits became a common and fashionable practice. Hot pink lips gained immense popularity, aligning with the vibrant dance party culture of the time. And additionally, goth lips found favor in certain alternative subcultures. And the 90s kind of continued this goth culture with the darker lipsticks. It was also the third wave of feminism. It's interesting to see how the lipstick colors changed with the waves of feminism. In the 20s, the 70s, and the 90s, it goes darker again. And this was characterized by individualism and diversity. And it was the Riot Girl movement, and this movement emerged in the early 90s, combining feminism with punk rock and addressing issues such as sexism and female empowerment. And the pop culture icons in the entertainment industry were Oprah Winfrey, Madonna, and the Spice Girls. Also, Madonna was definitely from the 80s as well. That's just to name a few. I definitely remember the Spice Girls. I definitely look back at the 90s as a nostalgic time in my life. I think of like going to the movie store. I think I'm going to Blockbuster. Obviously, I was still quite young during that decade, so I didn't get to take advantage a lot of the beauty trends. I think I became more coming of age in the early Y2Ks. What is your favorite decade from the 20th century when you look back at all the different beauty looks? There's so much to pull from here. Let me know in the comments below if you could go back in time to any decade. For a day in the 20th century, which one would you travel to and why? I'm always so curious. It's hard for me to say because I don't know. I've been binge watching Mad Men right now. I watched the whole series when it came out in like 2009, and then randomly I just kind of felt like watching it again. I'm deep now in season 4, and I just love looking back at all the looks and seeing how it's kind of evolved from the late 50s to the 60s. So it's been so interesting watching that show again. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Which decade is your favorite, or are you more of a Y2K kind of girl? Looking at the 2000s, like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Paris Hilton, with the shiny lip glosses. Let me know in the comments below. All right, and don't forget to check out some of my other vintage beauty videos.